Okay, I'm going to be doing a tutorial today, or like a guide on the Mannerheim Line. I've seen a lot of people struggle online with this on Reddit or Discord, so I thought I would do a voiceover, some gameplay of me completing it 30 rounds. I'm doing this all free to play, so all of the generals and stuff that I'm using are attainable in the game without spending real money. I have done guides before when I've used real money generals, which people weren't happy about. So I thought today I would do one where it's all free to play. So early on, you might have already seen, I've already put a Guderian down. So you want to put your strongest tank unit in that city in the middle, because that's where a lot of units will be going to early on, down the middle. And you want to place your bunkers where I've placed them, because it will funnel all the units into certain areas, because depending on where you put the bunkers, the troops of the enemy will go to different places. So where I've put them, they're all going to go to different areas. On the left hand side, you do want to put a half decent tank general there. You do get a lot of units coming up that bit, and you might have seen I put Chanel in the top right. That's an economy general. Now you want to use an economy general, I think, for this level, because you're going to be spending a lot of money in the game on bunkers, getting good units for your other generals. So I think an economy general is definitely vital. I put Rommel down as my second elite force to help Guderian with this early onslaught. And sometimes when the bunkers are really low health, it's best to use the bunker to attack the unit and then replace it, because otherwise they might be able to get through the wall, and you don't want them to get through the wall, obviously. I then put Malinovsky down on my medic. The medics are quite important for this mission because your units will be taking a lot of damage. I opted to put my best artillery general on the BM-21 because of the splash damage. Although the heavy Gustav might have a higher damage, I wanted the splash damage to affect multiple units, so I put Konov on that. I hadn't put bunkers down yet where Mannerheim stood, because I thought if I just put all the units there, they can't really get through it, and you're quite fine early on, because where you need to focus your money early on is this section where Guderian and Rommel are. And then eventually they'll move to other parts of the map, primarily the right hand side if you put your bunkers down in the same way I did. It's quite hard to predict the movement of units, but by putting bunkers down it does change their direction quite a lot. I think I put Montgomery down next. Yeah, I was deciding what tank to put him on, but I put Monty down. He's going to go help Mannerheim in a minute. But yeah, this isn't going to be one of those tutorials where I suddenly leave the line and go and take all the cities, because that's not what I'm planning on doing. The best way to handle Mannerheim Line is literally just build a bunker line and sort of just, you're not hiding behind it, but you're waiting for the enemy to come to you to then attack them back. And round by round you're rebuilding your bunkers, and you're slowly building up your elite forces and your strongest units with your strongest generals that you have on them. Now, I also move the units around from place to place, so later on I will be moving Konov to that right hand side because of his splash damage, which will be coming in handy, as well as Rommel, who will also move over there. But here we are, so this is our first real test with Konov coming up. I don't know, I attack him with list and then I put the bunker back down, because I believe the generals prioritise attacking the bunkers over your generals. So by building the bunker, it not only acts as a shield to your cities, but also helps out with your generals. Now, you don't have to do what I'm doing, you can save your money for bunkers, but I put paratrooped troops there around that fortress to prevent it spawning units. I believe those do spawn units, and it's more of a preference thing. You don't have to do that. If you're a bit lower level, you might be better off spending your money on your generals or just building up more bunkers. You don't have to have a single line of bunkers like I do. You can build multiple lines and it'll make a stronger defense against them. Because I do know that I've got a lot of stronger generals than some of you who might be watching the video. So far so good though, 8 rounds in, but I do notice obviously this right hand side is looking a bit in trouble, so I'm already thinking in my head I'm gonna move people over there. So yeah, Nen and List are doing okay. You might have seen there I attacked Konev with the bunker just so I could get rid of it and replace it. And I'm already planning on moving Guderian and Rommel around. I decided to keep Guderian on this left hand side for the majority of the game to deal with the units spawning from the cities. Although he's my strongest unit, you can move them wherever you like, but I kept him on the left hand side to deal with the spam. And I think I put Brook down now. Yeah, I put Brook down on the Gustav just to protect that centre area, as I've moved a lot of my generals away. And this is why I kept Guderian over here. They spam a lot of units on this left hand side, and you only have, well, I only have List to protect it, so I wanted to make sure I had the right protection over there. Now I'm quite ballsy with a lot of the stuff I've done. You don't have to move the generals outside of the line. It is a riskier method. You are probably better off just keeping them inside the lines. But eventually, if you just keep letting them attack you, it could end in a problem. So I like to sometimes send my units over the line so that they can go and attack them. Now, I actually thought on this trial that List actually did really well, and he wasn't even on an elite force, he was just on a regular tank. So yeah, fair play to List, he actually put a performance in. I did not mean to move, by the way, Malanovsky there. You want to keep well, your medic further away from the line, so it's better to keep them one space away from the bunkers, because artillery could then hit him or the tanks, and if I lose my medic there, then I'm going to be screwed later on. I think, to be honest, if you lose your medic at the very start of the game, you should just restart, because you need them to heal your troops, because your troops take a lot of attrition damage, and especially if you don't have high level green ribbons where you just gain your health back. But as you can see, I'm moving Rommel over to the right hand side to help Monty and Konev. Konev, to be honest, I think he could have probably handled it by himself. He was a bit of a beast. And I'm now just focusing on getting the remainder of my generals down. And I opt to put Bastico down. I actually forget about him for a few rounds because I wasn't focusing, but yeah. Now, yeah, around this time, their troops will get an inspiration bonus, so they're going to be a bit stronger for a bit. There is a way to get rid of their bonus, because it will make them a lot harder to fight against while they've got this bonus. If you defeat the General Timoshenko, which you'll see me do in a couple of minutes, then they'll actually go from being inspired to demoralized. And demoralized units obviously easier to fight. And Timoshenko is just that tank general just there at the bottom. And, yeah, we'll be taking him out in a second. Now, I've not built bunkers in this middle part, and by all means you can put bunkers there. It might change the pathing of their units. Guderian, or having your best tank general over here, is quite a blessing. He put in a lot of the legwork in that area, and he carried quite hard. And now I'm putting Lieb down, so you can start putting down your third choice units for artillery or whatnot. I then choose to put the bunkers down now that I have moved Rommel over to help him and Konev. And I do that method once again of destroying the bunker and then replacing it. Now, it's a good thing to move them up and down the line, obviously, to prioritise where they actually need to be attacking. But as you can see, Montgomery then took out Timoshenko, which put them all into a demoralised state. It meant they were a lot easier to defeat and attack. I did that at a good time as well, because I had a lot of units coming to that middle area, where it was actually quite undefended for quite a while. It's sort of just Lieb and Brook. Still Guderian and List on that left hand side. You can sort of just leave a general on that side for the whole time. I do move List there. That was probably a mistake. You should probably just keep someone there, to be honest. But yeah, as you can see, that splash damage from Guderian is so important. It's like he's attacking multiple units at once for pretty much the same amount of damage. Which is why I quite like the BM. But yeah, if you sort of just keep building your walls up, you'll usually be fine. I know a lot of people will want to actually get to round 30. That can be quite hard for a while. Getting to anything like round 20 is round 25 is quite a good achievement anyway. You'll get a lot of elite force fragments. I think people who play the game, they try and rush themselves too early on and think that they can beat harder levels when they really can't. So I wouldn't worry if you can't beat levels like this yet, because this level is, I'd say it's in the top 3 hardest maybe, along with like the Pearl Harbor one or the Hawaii attack, whatever it's fully called, I can't remember. But as you can see, I've now only got Rommel on that right hand side. I'm just moving them about where I think I need to prioritise where more units are, and obviously suddenly there's loads of units on that left hand side, so I've began to move Konov over there to help with that. And you know, if Rommel needs the help later on, I'll move him back over. Now this is where a strong unit like Guderian comes in clutch, because I've come up from behind, and all those units are now going to attack Guderian in a minute while it's their go, and they're going to get absolutely slaughtered. I was really stuck between the Priest as well and the Stuka. Looking back on it, I think I would have actually chosen the Stuka instead because of the splash damage. I'm not fully sure what I would have picked, but either way it works out, so. But I kept the healer on this side with Rommel because obviously he was by himself, so I thought it'd be best. Now that top left city, you will see it the whole time, it'll be getting attacked by ships. It really isn't a problem. They only parachute like one thing over the entire game, and it's at the very start, so if you just kill that, you'll be fine. As long as you make sure no units come up on that left side, you really don't need to worry about trying to fight those boats or anything. They're really not an issue. You could argue some of the carriers are, but I mean, one of the carriers has tens of thousands of health anyway, so it's really not your biggest problem. So obviously I've at this point I should be moving some of those generals on that left hand side over to help Rommel, because I've cleared a lot of the horde that was coming. But there you go, yeah, you see on that left part I've let some super artillery through by accident, and that's why I shouldn't really have moved List over ever, but I'm just moving Weidling over there now. But as you can see, Rommel is by himself a bit. That can be dangerous sometimes. It's it's important to make sure you move units around. So I'm moving Kona back over there because he was very effective last time. And I'm doing that same method of paratrooping around a tower to make sure it doesn't spawn anything. That's a better method, I would say, for the easy mode, where you might not necessarily want to take out the towers, but you can sort of demobilize them by just putting loads of units around it. It's quite a commonly used method. But yeah, watch this Guderian strike. Wow, he does hundreds of damage to 3 units at once. I meant to say Konev damage, sorry, not Guderian. It was some brilliant Konev damage. I think out of the units I use in this level, him, Konev and Guderian were probably the most important, and then Rommel. Having some strong tank and artillery generals is essential, really, for the Mannerheim line on hard. I hope my tutorial can help you actually beat this level. If not, I hope it can just help you get to some of the later rounds. It's hard for me to give a tutorial to a lot of you because I've got a lot of stronger units, and it's hard for me to balance that with your guys' stuff. I mean, obviously, I've just opted not to use Manstein or Zhukov, who are obviously stronger generals than the ones I'm using. And that was to give you guys a more balanced approach to this level. I'm looking to do more tutorials like these if you want them. I'm not sure if you will want them, but I want to be able to make tutorials which are able to be watched by everyone, rather than just using generals which I paid for. Conquests, I would like to do the same, but it takes quite a while to film a conquest video, and so if I don't use generals I've purchased or stuff like the Excellence Medal, it can take quite a while to do a conquest, and then I can't actually upload it as a video because it ends up being over an hour long, and no one's going to watch a video that's over an hour long, so yeah. But yeah, at this point you can sort of see I'm going to win. The only units are on this right hand side, and I've got 3 very strong units there, and Konev who's just bashing them, really. So from this point onwards you basically know I'm going to win. But yeah, you still got to stay vigilant though. You've got to make sure nothing's sneaking up behind. At this point you could also move your strongest tanker like over to the other side, like Guderian. Right now I've just got him there, he's not actually doing anything important. Really, if I was still trying in these later rounds, I would move him over to that right hand side to aid the other generals. You can just leave bunkers in this middle part, you don't have to have a general there. I just got lazy and put a general there. Usually 2 to 4 bunkers there will do the job. But yeah, Konev and Rommel are crushing it on that right hand side. Oh, if any of those people who are still watching ask what mod this is, this game is not modded. This is literally the normal game, and I'm actually sick of being asked what the mod is. So it's literally just the vanilla game. If any of you are still watching and have got any other videos you'd like me to make, just comment it. Then I'll do that for you, and I'll try my best to make a good tutorial. The tutorials I make from now on are usually going to be free to play, because I've realised that that's just what people want to see. And if you actually enjoy these videos, then please do subscribe, because it would mean a lot to me. But yeah, you can tell now that I've won this level. It's round 28, and none of the Soviet troops are anywhere near nearby Finnish cities, so yeah. I'm just putting some extra units on at the end, just in case the Soviets somehow made their way over there, but they're not going to. And that's the Mannerheim Line completed. 30 rounds. I'm going to open my rewards as well, but I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you found it useful, and thanks for watching.